The Gallipoli Campaign was a campaign that took place from February 16, 1915 and ended January 7, 1916. Following the entrance of the Ottoman Empire, now Turkey, to the war in October 1914, they cut supply lines between Britain and France, the Western Allies, and Russia on the opposite side of Germany. Britain and France dedicated that they needed to be able to send support via naval routes to France. So they attacked the Ottoman Empire with an amphibious landing at Gallipoli Peninsula. The British plan was to storm Gallipoli and take Constantinople, the Ottoman capital, in order to gain access to the Black Sea.
Much like elsewhere in the war, British troop leaders were hopelessly optimistic about how the campaign would go. On April 25th, British forces, supported by forces from France, Russia, Canada, Australia, India, and New Zealand, totaling about 300,000 troops, which would rise to 500,000 by the end of the offensive, attacked about 200,000 Ottoman troops supported by German artillery and troop leaders. Of the 6 initially planned landings, only 3 succeeded, one by French troops, one by British, and one by Anzac troops from Australia and New Zealand. The Allies reinforced these positions and held off an Ottoman counterattack on April 27th. However, Ottoman reinforcements arrived and the campaign became a slow slog, not a swift campaign like the British expected. The Allies were plagued by ammunition shortages and communication problems, and while one of the 2 huge mountains at Gallipoli, Akibaba, was taken by Anzac forces, they were pushed off the mountain by Turkish forces just a few days later. The front then devolved into trench warfare until the Allies pulled out of the peninsula in January of 1916 and sent their troops to Egypt. The end casualties were about 350,000 for the Allies and about 200,000 for the Central Powers. Historians are divided about how the offensive went, with some saying the losses were easier to replace for the Allies than the Ottomans, and some saying the offensive was a disastrous waste of resources for the Allies. Indisputably, the campaign split the British military strategists between those who favored attacking Germany's allies in the Mediterranean and those who favored fighting on the Western Front. It also gave the Ottoman forces confidence and led right into the capture of a large British army in eastern Turkey at Kut al-Amara. However, these were the only major Ottoman victories of the war, and the end of the Gallipoli campaign is now considered a national holiday, the last heroic defense of the motherland as the Ottoman Empire crumbled. The Gallipoli campaign was also the start of nationalistic spirit in Australia and New Zealand, whose Anzac forces won almost every Allied victory of the campaign.